Filming a wedding is always stressful when you're trying to cover so much ground in such a little amount of time. Using wireless headsets have literally streamlined my process and made it so that I can always guarantee we're capturing the things we need to and focusing on the right people. We literally could not do our job without these headsets. I do want to thank Hollyland for sending these out. They are not paying me for this review and they have not seen this video before it's uploaded, so everything I say is true and authentic and exactly how I feel about these units. Now, because we mic up so many people and we're going throughout the wedding day and we're trying to capture as much dialogue as possible, it's important for me and my assistants to be on the same page and know exactly who we're focused on, when we're gonna stop focusing on them, when we're moving, when we're set, and being able to reposition and reframe. Hollyland sent me these headsets and I have been amazed with the audio quality, which is why I switched to these from my previous ear techs that I was using.
This is your captain speaking. We are going to be landing here in Austin.
Hollyland says that the master unit ranges about 6 hours on battery. I do end up having to switch out the batteries at each wedding, and the slave units typically last an entire wedding day. Now they do include an extra battery, which makes it okay because then you can just swap it out. It does let you know, which almost scares you every single time when the lady's voice on the headset goes, low battery. It will let you know that the headset's battery is low, and typically when you hear that low battery, you got about 20 minutes before the headset actually cuts off. In terms of range, this is where I was the most impressed with these units. I remember using the Hollylands the first day we were at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Odessa, Texas, and my assistant was on the 3rd floor. I was on the 1st floor in the ballroom, and the headset stayed connected. Not only were they connected, but the quality never had any static or feedback. I was impressed with this because that's always the situations you're gonna be in. I'm not too concerned with 1,000 feet of line of sight because most of the time when we're filming, we're not gonna be in line of sight. We're gonna be at a wedding, we're gonna be in one room, my assistant or one of my other assistants will be in another room or a different part of the property, and being able to have a headset that can go through walls and stay connected is important.
You gotta give me a tier then, okay? You gotta make it real.
Now, in terms of build quality, I can only compare this to the EarTechs because I was using the EarTechs before these, and the EarTechs feel a lot more robust. They're designed, they're a lot thicker, they're a lot more rigid, and the Hollylands, it's not that they feel cheap, there's just a noticeable difference between the two. I feel like if I was to drop the Hollylands or a good enough fall, the Hollylands could incur some sort of damage. I actually feel like the EarTechs can be a lot more rough handled, whereas the Hollylands are a lot more fragile. Wearing the EarTechs, they're definitely heavy and you definitely feel this thing hanging on your head. The EarTechs also have more of a rigid mic, whereas with the Hollylands, things tend to get a little more wobbly and more fragile. However, on the flip side of that, they're a lot lighter. So wearing them for 10 or 12 hours a day, you barely notice that they're there. Now, there's only one thing that I absolutely dislike about the Hollyland unit, and this is, again, is going to be a comparison with the EarTechs because those are the ones that I was using before. The EarTechs mic has more of a directional pickup pattern. The Hollyland unit just seems to pick up noise from all around the mic capsule. That is a drawback, but the clarity from the Hollyland is a lot better than what is on the EarTechs, and in my opinion, I'd prefer to hear more background noise, but hear the voice a lot better than to not hear background noise and not hear the voice as clear. So now some of the tech stuff out of the way, I do want to talk about why I absolutely love using these headsets. And the biggest thing is being able to direct in the moment. In the middle of a ceremony, I can tell my assistant to, hey, focus on the groom face, or hey, get reactions, grab the bride's face, switch sides, go to the middle, focus on the officiant.
All that set up with the photographer, record all that for me, okay? Connor, she getting dressed? 400 ISO? Okay. Hey, what's the girls doing? Everything good in there? She's still doing makeup? Focus on efficiency. Let me know if I can get a shot. Kind of go hit record on that other camera.
I'm doing all of this in the middle of the ceremony actively and just with a whisper because of how clear the pickup is. Without these headsets, even using walkie-talkies would be miserable because you have to keep pressing the button and holding it. And most of the time with walkie-talkies, you have to be literally close to that mic in order to get a good sound pickup. The Hollyland system sits right in front of your face, and when you're ready to use it, you flip it down, you talk, and you flip it back up, and it's muted. Another thing that I like about them is that with the set of 4, I can have one, my assistant, and both photographers. This is actually really helpful because as the media for the wedding, we should all be in sync and be able to understand what each other needs. I actually just filmed a wedding using the headsets with a photographer, and I was able to let her know, like, hey, I want to grab a wide shot during the speeches, and I would say, hey, can you duck down? She'd duck down, I'd get my shot, Then I say, you're good. She'll stand back up and was doing her thing. And that worked vice versa. She let me know like, hey, we want to capture some shots from behind. And they'd go back, they'd get their shot, and we would go back into filming. This way, you never had to worry about where the photographer was or if they're gonna, jump in front of your shot at the last second. This helped us stay in sync and helped us really maximize on being able to film and get the shots that we need without each other's cameras in the way. I remember also during cocktail hour, we were filming, some of the mingling and things like that. And the photographer radioed to us and said, hey, I'm almost done with family portraits. We're going to start bride and groom portraits in about 5 minutes. And that was like literally the best thing ever, because normally we're running back and forth trying to peek to see like, oh, nope, they're still doing those photos. Oh, okay, they're doing bride and groom portraits. And this just made it a lot easier, so we didn't have to worry about keeping up and feeling like we're going to miss the moment when they do transition. The reason I honestly prefer the intercom systems over like a walkie-talkie is mainly the ease of use. Having a walkie-talkie, especially as a filmmaker, imagine if you're holding your gimbal or having both hands on your camera, you don't really have an option to let go, hold down a button to talk, and then go back to filming. In real time, you can just flip down the headset, talk, and flip it up to mute it or leave it down and you're good to go. These also are a lot louder than any of the walkie-talkie sets that I've tried and tested. And trust me, I tried a few of them and nothing even comes close to how clear or loud these are. Standing right in the middle of the dance floor, I can still direct to my assistant and communicate and still be able to hear crystal clear when they talk back. And honestly, that's all I really have to say about these. They're definitely amazing. So even if you're a solo shooter, a photographer, or a filmmaker and you have a team, having these in your kit is definitely a must. Being able to direct in real time, orchestrate your shots, and communicate with the photographer all at the same time while doing things in the moment is vital to having a successful wedding shoot. That is all I have for y'all. I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any questions about the Hollyland system that I didn't actually mention in this video, drop some comments down below. I'll also leave links to these in the description, so be sure to check those out if you're interested. Until the next video, y'all keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.